Howdy, Ags, and welcome back to On Air with Student Affairs. This is a podcast that is going to explore different programs, services, and opportunities available here at Texas A&M. I'm your host, Morgan Miles, and I am the loudest and the proudest member of the Fighting Texas Aggie class of 2026, AAA. Whoop! And today, I am here with the one and only Isabella Grogman. She is the executive director of Maroon Out. She is a Pi Beta Phi, and she is involved in so many things here at A&M. So how are you today, Isabella?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. So let's just start off by talking about the things that you're involved in. So can you tell us everything?
Yes. So I'm the executive director of Maroon Out this year. Maroon Out is a student organization that's been around since 1998, and we always give back to the school and various traditions by producing a shirt every football season, and we've just started doing some spring sports as well. I'm also involved in Pi Phi, as you mentioned, the sorority, class councils, and Team 12.
Awesome.
Yes.
Oh, wow. You're all around. Wow. Okay, so tell us a little bit more about Maroon Out. We'll start there.
Okay, so I first got involved my freshman year, so fall of 2022. As a general member, I just kind of randomly applied. I saw it on the STUAC website, actually, and I just chose to apply, just kind of throwing my name out there. And I got in, and I really liked what I did as a general member, so I decided to apply for a director for 2023, and I was selected as the social media director. So that was a lot of fun, getting to learn more about marketing and social media content as a whole. And then after that, I decided to apply for executive director, which is the highest you can go. So it's another word for president, and I was selected for that for 2024. So I've been doing that since January.
Oh, well, congratulations.
Thank you.
And just to ask, what's your major?
I'm a sport management major, so This is kind of a good way to get involved in sports. A little bit differently, but we work a lot with athletics, so it's opened a lot of doors for me.
I'm a sports management minor.
Oh, look at that.
Look at us go. Okay, so since you're a sports management major,
yes,
you're working with Maroon Out. You're also working with Team 12. So what is that like, and how has that prepared you for, you think, your future career and being in a sports management major?
It's been awesome. Maroon Out's definitely taught me a lot about the business side of it, working with companies, negotiating contracts, all of that kind of thing. And then Team 12 is giving me a lot of firsthand experience, getting to be on the court for games, even if it's doing something silly, like we wipe the floor of sweat sometimes, but it's so fun because you get to meet the players and talk to the coaches, and it's just awesome learning about their experiences, and it's a great way to open new doors and learn more about the sport industry.
Awesome. So what sport do you specifically work with?
For Team 12, we work with all the sports. So far, I've done with them volleyball, soccer, softball, and I think that's it so far, but we're about to get into football season. I just haven't been a member yet for football season, so I'm excited for that. And then for Maroon Out, we do pretty much all of the sports.
Awesome.
So, yes.
So can you explain what Team 12 is for those who don't know and maybe want to get involved?
Yes. So Team 12 is a student organization. It's, I believe, the official organization of A&M Athletics. And so it's a great way to kind of be that liaison between athletics and then the student body. And so we do a lot with important alumni that come back, legends for Kyle Field, all those kind of things. We're doing the behind-the-scenes work for all of that, and it's really fun.
That's awesome.
Yes.
So what made you want to get involved with such a big variety of different organizations?
Well, my freshman year, I just kind of wanted to throw my name out to anything and everything to see what it was that I was really passionate about. In high school, I was involved in pretty much everything from yearbook to student council to cheer, and so I continue that into college, and I was involved in even more organizations my freshman year, and I decided to stick with the ones that I was really passionate about, and I grew the closest with friends in, and so I just really like being involved in different things because it's allowed me to meet a lot of different people.
So let's say somebody's watching this who isn't involved in anything. Why do you feel that it's important for students to get involved in college?
I think it's important to get involved because it introduces you to new people. By being a part of these organizations, I would have never met some of the people that I have. If I had never decided to randomly apply for Maroon Out that one night, I would not have met two of my best friends through that. And so I just think it's a really great way to push yourself out of your comfort zone and meet new people. So.
Yay. It sounds awesome. You are super involved, and it's super interesting hearing everything you're involved in.
Thanks.
So since this is technically being filmed during recruitment week, let's talk a little bit about that. So how was that experience going through recruitment, and what is it like being in Pi Phi?
It's awesome. I really love it. I always knew I wanted to be in a sorority, but I was kind of scared to do it, just because it is a scary thing. You see all the TikToks and all of the intense things, but it was so worth it. I went through the fall of my freshman year, and it was a hard week, I'm not going to lie, but it was so worth it. I loved getting to walk into the houses and talk to the girls, and I knew when I walked into Pi Phi that those were the girls that I instantly clicked with. They asked me a lot about philanthropy, and that's something that I'm very passionate about is community service. I volunteered so much in high school, and I still do in college, and so I knew that that was where I wanted to be. And so I was fortunate enough to get the bid from Pi Phi and run home to all those girls. And it's so cliche, but those girls are really my best friends and will be in my wedding one day. I know everyone says that, but it really is true. Yeah. And so I love it. And last year I got to be on the other side of recruitment to find new girls that wanted to come home, and it was so fun. And after that, I got my little, and it's just awesome.
That's so sweet. So tell us a little bit about Pi Phi's philanthropy.
So our philanthropy is the Boys and Girls Club. So we get to go to the Boys and Girls Club every week and read to kids and help them with literacy. We do a lot with reading, and so we get to spend time with those kids and just help them with their homework, but also get to have a little bit of fun with them. And I like to play basketball with them and all that kind of things.
That's awesome, and I think that's so cool and so sweet that you love community service. I think it's really an awesome part about being involved in college is really the community service opportunities that you get, where you don't get them in like high school or like other things unless you try to go out and seek them. But in college, it's kind of all around you, you know, and it's literally just based on like you deciding to get involved or not.
It is.
So a more of a fun question.
Okay.
What is your favorite memory from being involved in anything that you've been involved in?
Oh, goodness. That's a good question. I have so many. I'll do a silly memory and a sweet memory, I guess. My silly memory would be we, for Maroon Out, had a basketball game this past year, and we were just trying to move boxes, and it was just really hard. And so there's a lot of funny pictures of us just pushing with all of our might the boxes. But those are the memories that we remember because we did it and it was funny. We were covered in sweat, but we did it together and we made it through with our friends. So I just really like that memory. It just shows how close we got. Yeah. But then the sweet memory is definitely my freshman year. I ran home to a girl that I'd never met before in Pi Phi. I had no idea who this girl was, but we instantly clicked. And then she became my big sis. And we are so close. We went out last night to Chewy's to get some tacos. And so that was a really sweet moment to meet this girl for the first time, and then a week later, her becoming my big. So
that's so sweet. Thanks. I love that. You are just awesome.
Thanks.
You are just so cool.
Thanks.
And I love that.
You're so cool.
Thank you so much for saying that. So what is your piece of advice, first I want to ask, for somebody getting involved in recruitment or thinking about going through recruitment?
I say just do it, and everyone will say trust the process, but do it. I was like, why does everyone keep telling me to trust the process? That's so everyone's saying it, but it really does mean something. I knew when I walked into the house that I got that it was right, and you'll find that somewhere too, even if it's not on the first day. The more you get to know these girls, you'll find your home, and it'll all be okay. Even if it's not where you think you're supposed to end up, give it a shot. You never know who you're going to meet. You never know what kind of girl is going to walk into your life one day. So.
Right. And one thing I will say to like add on to that about recruitment is I think one of the worst things you can do with recruitment is go in with like expectations.
Yes.
As someone else who went through recruitment, I think the easiest thing to do is just go in very open-minded.
So true.
And people will say things about different houses, but you just have to remember that people talk.
Yes.
And, this is about you. So,
It is.
Go in, find girls that are like you, and it'll be awesome.
Yeah, that's so true also, because every house is there for a reason.
Right.
If they weren't supposed to be there, they wouldn't be there. And so it's important to keep an open mind about every house, because you never know what girl is sitting in there waiting for you.
Right.
That could be your new best friend. And so it's important to give everyone a shot.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So back to just general advice.
Okay.
So what is your advice for a freshman or even an upperclassman deciding, I think it's time that I get involved in something? What is your advice?
To do it. I think that it's awesome. You never know who you're going to find. Like I said, freshman year, I was involved in so many more organizations, and it was so awesome. There's always orgs accepting applications. That I know that I think it's on the STU Act website. I'm sure you can get more information on that. But there's always people that are looking just for more members and all that. So just give it a try. You never know. And even if it has nothing to do with your major, do it, because that's how you learn what you're passionate about. And sometimes not everything has to be about your major. You need something a little more like fun and out of the box to try too.
Yeah. So let me ask you, what was it like being involved in so much as a freshman? Because apparently you were involved in a lot more than you are now, which is insane.
Yes, I was involved in 2 more organizations, and they were so awesome. I really liked it, and it kept me busy because I didn't have anything else going on yet. Like that was my first introduction to college and meeting people. And so on Tuesday nights, I had this meeting. On Wednesday nights, I had this meeting. So each day was kind of designated to a different organization, if you will. And I really enjoyed it. It put me on a schedule and allowed me to really get involved in A&M.
I love that. So you said you were involved in class councils. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. So I also joined that my freshman year. And so when you're a freshman in class councils, it's actually a FLOW, so a freshman leadership organization. So I was involved in Fish Council, and then my sophomore year, sophomore council, and now I'm in junior council as I start junior year. And so class councils is an organization that they put on all the class traditions. So the 5 traditions are Elephant Walk, Ring Dance, Pull Out Day, Legacy Night, and Fish Fest. So there's different traditions for each class, and we are the people that put those on. And we also do volunteer work within the community. We do Adopt a Street and pack food, all that kind of volunteer service work. But it's been really awesome. My freshman year, we were put in committees in Fishco, and those people are still some of my closest friends. Just a random group of, I think there's 10 of us. I'm not sure. Just these random group of freshman college kids put together, and we still talk. We always like to go to Chili's and just silly college things like that. And it was a really rewarding opportunity.
Awesome. So can you tell us what your favorite tradition is that y'all put on?
I really like putting on Fish Fest. I think that one's fun because it's for the freshmen. It's the only freshman tradition, but it's kind of like a carnival aspect.
That's fun.
So it's just fun to see all the freshmen coming together because they just met one another and now they have little friend groups. And so it's kind of a sweet thing to see.
I love that. So what has being involved in so many things here? What has that taught you about the culture of A&M?
That it is so inclusive and that there's a spot for everyone. This school has thousands of students, and I still see, every time I walk on campus, I'll see someone that I know. Yeah. I have no idea how that works, but I run into people all the time, and so being involved has given me that. I love walking into Coldus and seeing familiar faces from every corner I look, and maybe I don't know them personally, but I see them all the time, so I feel like I know them. I'll just smile at them, and it just shows how friendly A&M is, really, with that howdy. And I know that's so silly and cliche also, but seeing that and just saying howdy to a new face really makes you feel at home and feel welcome wherever you go.
Yeah. I do think that joining a bunch of orgs, and I'm sure I'm not in nearly as many as you are, but even being involved in just like Theta, it's like whenever you go around campus, it like, and you see people you know, it makes it feel like home. And more so like a high school than like a college or even like honestly like a middle school because it's just so tiny. I went to private school. So like a middle school where there's like 30 people here. But in reality, it's such a big school. But I think being involved just in that feeling of having that close-knit group of people just makes your college experience so different, especially coming from someone like my freshman year. I was involved in things, but I eventually had to drop. But just going from not being involved in really anything to being involved in so much, you can tell the difference because it's intimidating. Being a freshman and you're going to class and you don't know anybody because you're not involved in anything, and then being a sophomore last year and knowing everybody feels like. So I think that's really sweet. So moving forward into the future with your career and everything, how do you feel that being involved in so many organizations here at A&M will help you prepare for life after college?
In so many different ways. I think it kind of depends on the organization. Each one has taught me something different. I know for Maroon Out specifically, I've learned so much about the business world, and I have my advisors to thank for that. I'll give them a little shout out, Devin and Kendall. They've taught me so much about negotiation and pricing and just so much of the business world that I didn't know what any of those words even meant before stepping into this role. And so I think that'll help me a lot in the real world whenever I get a real career. And then for like Team 12, I've gotten to meet a lot of exciting people out there. I know how to go about certain things in the sport industry now. And so I think that's prepared me a lot on the professional side. And then for more of class councils, I've gotten to learn the importance of giving back and more community service and just doing that in new ways. And then for Pi Phi, just having that group of friends and knowing that you can make a connection wherever you go. And there's something similar between everyone out there. There's something that you can bond on or talk about. There's something. And so I think that everything I'm involved in has prepared me in one way or another.
Yeah. So I want to ask you, what is some advice you may have for somebody that went out for one of those orgs or just any org in general and didn't get in? Because that is a thing that happens, unfortunately, and it is real. Some orgs are more selective than others. So what would be your advice for somebody that didn't get into an org that they wanted to get into?
I'd say don't give up and keep trying. I know it's hard, but everything does happen for a reason. I was denied from several orgs my freshman year, and that was discouraging, I'm not going to lie, but it honestly motivated me to keep trying. I knew that there was a spot for me somewhere, and I knew that I wanted to get involved in a service organization or something. And so there's something out there waiting for you. It just might not be what you thought originally, but if you are super passionate about that one specific organization, keep trying. Maybe that just wasn't the time for you. Just everything falls into its place, and it's meant to be. So keep going.
Yeah, that was a really good answer. I think that'll be really encouraging to somebody because unfortunately it is a real thing.
It is.
And rejection is hard, but I think rejection is also a blessing because it teaches you how to go about things in the real world, even like with careers and things like that, because you'll face rejection with like careers and all these other things. So don't necessarily take it as a bad thing or like a setback, but take it as a good thing because it's going to prepare you for the future.
Yes. So. And rejection is redirection.
Yeah. So. That's a word, guys.
Yes.
That was so good. Well, thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. And if you guys decide that you want to get involved in anything or decide just, to think about it or put your efforts towards service, you can go to text.ag/create your Aggie experience. Bye, guys. Thanks, and gig 'em.